If I could sit down with the version of me that just began her healing journey, these are the 8 things I would tell her. For the last couple years, my platform has been me healing out loud. I've shared my pain, my grief, my trauma. I've shared everything, like even parts of my rebuilding journey lately. But it got me thinking recently that I don't talk about my pain like I used to because I no longer allow it to define me. It's now like a page in my book, like a chapter in my book, because I'm so far beyond it now to where it's not even a thought in my mind every day like it used to be. And then that got me to thinking if I could sit down with the version of me that just began her healing journey, these are the 8 things I would tell her. When I started healing, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I thought I would just unpack a little trauma and then one day I would just move on, right? When I first started my healing journey, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I honestly thought that I would just unpack a little trauma, forgive people I needed to forgive, and just move on with my life. And it turned out to be so much more than that. What no one told me is that healing would destroy every single thing I knew about myself. Healing wasn't just about what I had gone through, it was also about who I became because of it. Let's start with point number one. Healing doesn't happen overnight, y'all. When I first started my healing journey in 2017, I was pregnant with my second daughter, and I had just realized I had so much trauma and so much was wrong with me. Like in my marriage, I was able to see so many things about myself because we were like mirrors of each other in a way. So at that time, I started to realize, because I realized his crap, I started to realize my own because I am very self aware. And once I see something, it's so hard for me to unsee it. So I'm like, okay, these are the things I need to work on. But it honestly wasn't until I left my marriage and was able to free myself from that last piece of trauma, that last piece of pain and hurt that I had been holding on to, that I was really able to dive into my healing journey. And healing is so layered. Like you'll think that you've peeled one off and you just peeling like you just start flying through the layers because it's so layered. So you must be gentle with yourself. Healing isn't just an event you pull up to one day. It's a whole process. And you won't see progress for a while. While you're in the thick of it, it's going to seem like you're just grieving and nothing is changing. And why am I even doing this? Is this even going to be worth it? Like you're going to ask yourself so many questions. And you will relapse. You will most definitely go back to old versions of yourself where you'll catch yourself reacting how you used to, et cetera, et cetera. But that's a part of the process. And that just means you're hitting a deeper level. And we tend to run from it. When you've been through so much crap in your life, you tend to run when things get hard. Or if you have learned how to build a bubble around yourself, like you'll run into that bubble. I'm guilty of it. But that just means you're going deeper and just keep trusting the process and allowing the process to transform you. Healing isn't linear. I feel like a lot of times these days people think that once you heal, you're healed. And it's like, no, yes, I've gotten past that first level of healing or second level, I guess now. I've gotten past that healing, but healing is forever. You just keep unlocking new levels of maturity. And that's one thing you'll always realize. Like, I'm just in a different level of my healing right now. Or you'll get triggered, like something will trigger you, and you'll realize, like, okay, I'm not reacting how I used to, but how can I react even better? Like, how can I keep growing and getting better? That's all it's showing you. You're just unlocking a new level of maturity in your healing. Don't measure your healing by how quickly you stop hurting. Measure it by how differently you respond. Like, oh my gosh, you think that you're just supposed to stop hurting. Like, for the longest, I thought that, okay, this doesn't bother me anymore. I'm good. I've healed it. And then one day something comes up and it's like, oh, I'm not as healed as I thought I was. But I'm responding differently, but I'm handling the situation differently. That means you're healing. Don't think that you're going to stop hurting. Like one day it'll get lighter, one day it won't hurt as bad. But something could come up 15 years from now and it hurts because it was a trigger. It was reflected to you by somebody you love in a different manner. And you think it'll set you back, 15 years, but in reality, it's not. Measure it by how differently you show up and how differently you respond to it now. And do not put a deadline on your journey. Every small step compounds on the other. Do not say, I need to be healed in 6 months or this, and that. No, you ride the journey. And if you do the work, you're going to get to the other side of the journey. If you don't do the work, you resist the whole way, it's just going to take longer. There's no date, there's no set time to healing. We're all healing from different things. Just give yourself grace through the process and just ride the wave and enjoy the journey. Because once you're on the other side, I promise you it's beautiful. I promise you it's beautiful. Point number 2, awareness comes before change. Becoming aware is just the beginning. It's not the finish line, it's not the end goal. That's where the process starts. When you can become aware of everything that needs to change in your life, including people that need to go. But we're going to get there. Knowing why you do something doesn't automatically stop you from doing it. Like, I can name so many times that I was aware of something, but that didn't change anything because we're stuck in patterns. We're stuck in cycles. We're stuck in so many things that life created in us. The things our childhoods created in us. The things we went through in our adult life created in us. So don't think because you are now aware that so much needs to change that it's just going to happen overnight. You have to literally unlearn so many things. And it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of time, actually. Many people confuse insight with transformation. Oh, now that I know I could just fix it overnight. And it's like, no, give yourself time to process what you're now aware of. Journal. I journaled a lot. I still journal a lot. But give yourself time to process. Hey, I realized I'm a people pleaser. How can I move forward and not be a people pleaser anymore? It's not like a light switch. You're still gonna people please moving forward. I still sometimes, every now and then, find myself. But now that I know better, I can catch myself in it. And I'm like, okay, Shakira, you're people pleasing. You really want to say no, but you're saying yes. Like, stay true to yourself throughout this process. Healing starts with seeing the pattern, but growth starts when you start interrupting the pattern. Like I just said, I catch myself. I interrupt it right away. Like, we're not doing this, we're not doing that, or we're not going to go there with this person, or we're not, and eventually you'll get there. But don't think you start healing today, tomorrow, you're supposed to already be interrupting the patterns. No. The best thing to do in the beginning is to catch the patterns, actually see and recognize the patterns, because the more comfortable you get with seeing your patterns, the more easier it'll be to interrupt them once you get to that stage in your healing to where you're catching yourself now. Awareness gives you a choice that you didn't have before. Before, you didn't realize you people please, so it's easy to people please. Before, you didn't realize that you may overspend when you're anxious. You may shut people out, you shut down, you run, before, you don't realize any of these things. But once you become aware, now you have a choice on who you get to become from this day forward. And just knowing isn't enough. You have to daily practice choosing differently. This is a daily practice. Awareness, all it does is give you a whole bunch of responsibility. Because once you're aware of it, you can't run from it. Because if you run from it, then you're choosing to stay in it. Point number 3, and I want you to sit with this one. You can miss people that hurt you. Missing them does not mean that they belong in your life. And my God, how I wish anybody, a stranger, would have came up to me and told me this. Trauma bonds make unhealthy relationships feel safe because they're predictable. It's comfortable. We both have been through the same things. Why not stay in this? Why not go through it? You get me. You understand me. You know me like no one else does. That is all a bunch of baloney. And it's really just your brain wanting familiarity. You start to miss it when it's gone. And that's not good for your health. Loneliness will tempt you to romanticize a relationship that wasn't even real. Loneliness will tempt you to romanticize a relationship that was actually painful. You can love somebody and recognize that they are not healthy for you. Missing them does not mean you should go back. And me personally, I struggle with this because if you have been here for a while, or if you're new here, I don't have a relationship with my mother, my father, or my siblings. And me and my mom's kids, I was super close to both of them. Me and my mom, we've always had an on and off again relationship since I became an adult. Me and my dad's relationship doesn't really matter. That's neither here nor there. But those three, when it first happened and I first was called to let the relationship go, I didn't miss them at first because it's like, oh, this always happens. But as the years have went on, and I recently made an episode about this, I realized that I missed them. And a grief came with that. But we're not going to get into grief right now. But I realized that I missed them. And I realized that it's okay to miss them. And it's okay to wish them well and all of these things. And it's also okay to not be ready for a relationship. Point number 4. Boundaries will feel so uncomfortable at first. Healthy boundaries will feel selfish when you've spent your whole life overextending yourself to everybody. When you spent your whole life pouring into everybody else's cup instead of filling your own. It's going to feel very selfish at first. And that discomfort isn't proof that you're doing something wrong. It's just proof that you're doing something new. It's proof that you're adjusting. It's proof that you're growing. And it's proof that you're becoming. And I feel like that's what we're here to do. We're not here to please everybody else and make everybody else feel comfortable. We're here to live a fulfilling life and to walk in our purpose. Okay? And people that benefited from your lack of boundaries, they're not about to like it. They will resist your growth. They will say, oh, you acting funny now. Oh, you acting different. Oh, you on your high horse. But boundaries don't punish people. They protect you. Remember that. Boundaries don't punish anybody. They're protecting you from people that don't respect you, for people that don't genuinely care for you. That's how you gonna know who's who. Once you set those boundaries in place, that's how you gonna know who's for you and who's really not. Who's just here because they benefit from your lack of boundaries versus the people who actually care for you and want to see you succeed and want to see you grow and want to see you be the absolute best version of yourself. And saying no creates so much space for the things God is actually calling you to say yes to. You better answer the call, girl. But seriously, boundaries aren't walls, they're wisdom. And when you've walked a life of just trauma and pain, you've picked up a lot of wisdom nuggets along the way. And once you start implementing those boundaries, you'll start to see so much change in the way you feel and the way you act and the way you react. Like, it's so peaceful when you start teaching people how to treat you. And everyone starts to either conform to it or get out the way. And that leads us to point number 5. Outgrowing people is a part of growth. Growth changes your priorities, your conversations, your habits, and your values. Not everybody is meant to walk with you forever. And that's something that's going to be very hard to grasp at first because you build this life in your head. You have this plan in your head and you see all these people coming with you. And one day reality hits and it's like, they can't come. God let you know real plain and clear. I removed them because they can't come. Some relationships end because somebody did something wrong. Others end because you're simply going in different directions in life and it's time for you to just part ways. And the only way you can become who God is calling you to become is if you don't resist that and you just let those relationships end and you learn to look at it from a positive perspective of this is happening for me and not this is happening to me. You don't have to make people the villain to move on. And you have to be okay with when you move on, them possibly making you the villain. You got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with people being upset that you're cutting ties with them. Yeah, some people are going to make you the villain. But if you know in your heart you did nothing wrong, just give them grace and move on. Because you don't owe them nothing. And they don't owe you anything. So make peace with being the villain in other people's story. Some people are simply assigned to a season, not a lifetime with you. We came in here alone, unless you a twin. We came here alone and we're going to leave alone. Outgrowing people is not betrayal, it's just a part of the becoming process. Point number 6, you have to grieve who you were. People often think grief is about losing people. And I'm here to tell you that it is not. You will grieve the version of you that tolerated way less than you should have. You will grieve lost time, missed opportunities, the life you thought you'd have by now, broken dreams. You are going to grieve so much. The people that can't come with you, the people that you never saw yourself leaving. Like that version of yourself that existed with those people, you're going to grieve it. All of it. So much grief is going to come up. You are going to mourn your old identity before you even get to embrace the new one. And you're going to miss who you were before the pain. That version of you before the healing journey started. You're going to miss that version. Because that version learned how to operate and how to move through life a certain way. That version knew how to survive. That version knew how to just put a wall up, put a mask on for everybody. Because growing, grieving, healing brings so much out of you. It's a painful process. You can't fully become someone new if you're still going to hold on to who you used to be. So you have to be okay with shedding every single thing you knew about yourself. Everything. Letting it all go. So you can fully bloom into the boss baddie on the other side of healing. Point number 7. Rest is a part of healing, y'all. It is okay to get you some rest. Many people, I included, coming out of survival mode associated rest with being lazy. And many people, I included for some of it, coming out of survival mode, you don't know how to just chill. You constantly feel like you got to be doing something. You got to be here, you got to be there, you got to be everywhere, and you're so used to spreading yourself thin that when you do stop and slow down, all these thoughts come up that you don't even want to deal with. So it makes it harder to rest. But rest is a part of the process, and it is one of the most important parts of the process. A constantly activated nervous system makes slowing down so hard, and it makes it feel unsafe. Rest isn't something you earn after a burnout. It's something that allows your mind, body, and soul to recover enough to keep building and to stay the course of this process. Because just think about it. If you're constantly in healing mode and you're not resting, you're not allowing your mind to catch up to where your reality is. I hope that makes sense. You're not allowing it to catch up. It's like one foot is going to always be in front of the other. So you have to slow down to allow everything, your subconscious, your conscious, to all catch up to each other. And I struggled a lot with rest. I still feel like it's different now, of course. But I still feel like, am I being lazy? Because now that I know how to rest, I think I'm giving myself a little too much rest. But that's another story for a different day. Productivity without rest often creates survival mode in a different form. It's just survival mode in all caps now. You have to learn to, I don't know what your schedule is like, but you have to learn to incorporate your self-care. For me, I've started enjoying slow mornings. Right now, my kids are out of school. I don't know when you'll be watching this. Right now it's summertime, and incorporating slower mornings, just getting a slower start to my day, not feeling like I'm rushing and I'm scrambling, is calming for my nervous system, because I've always been in go mode, always been up. I didn't even used to think about myself when I woke up. I would just be up. Okay, what do I got to do? I got to get the kids up. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to get ready. I got to get out the door. We got to be done by this time. And it's like, girl, breathe. Slow down and breathe. So now I just take my time getting up. I'll make my little green juice, drink my green juice, take my time, make me something to eat, and just move at a pace that feels right to me. I've also started meal planning for the month because trying to figure out what to eat every other day started to really become draining for me. So I get on ChatGPT, hey Chat, I need help meal planning for the month. Like, this is what I like to eat, this is what I don't like to eat. Come up with a plan for the whole month because that is helping to calm my nervous system and that is helping to take me out of survival mode. I'm just trying to create systems because the whole hustle culture is dead for me. So I'm trying to create systems that work with my ADHD because routines just aren't my thing. Like, maybe routines work for you, and if they do, implement the heck out of them. But for me, I have to have a system. Like, okay, how is this gonna make my day easier? Okay, get my clothes out the night before, et cetera, et cetera. Pack my gym bag because the next day this will help me get out the door smoothly while still maintaining my slow mornings. My meals are already prepped because I have my calendar. It's like it may sound like a routine, but it's really just a system that works with me and not against me. Because routines, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna get up at A, I'm gonna go to sleep at B, I'm gonna do this at this time, and then that fall apart in 3 days. So if I don't stick to a time block and I just have a system of what I need to get done, it flows so much smoother for me. Rest is the reward for healing. And all of this just allows me to incorporate rest where I need to because I've created a system that works with me. And outside of that system, I'm resting because I don't have to think about what to eat every day. I know I'm going to have a slow morning the next day. My clothes are already picked out. Rest isn't the reward for healing, it's just one of the ways that healing happens. And all of these points have led up to point number 8. You have to learn who you are outside of survival mode. Survival mode teaches you how to survive. It don't teach you who you are. Most of us know our coping mechanisms better than we know ourselves. I bet you could name 6 ways you cope right now, but you couldn't tell me who you are if I asked. A lot of times people ask, who are you? And you'll say, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, That's not the question at hand. The question is, who are you? Outside of the hats you wear, outside of your job, who are you? And if you went straight to, I'm a mom, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a doctor, that just lets you know you don't really know who you are. Once all the chaos is gone, you'll be left to ask, who am I now? And the beautiful thing about who am I now, you get to choose who you want to be, what your new values are, what's the new way you want to dress, what your new hobbies are going to be. You get freelance over that. Healing creates space, but you have to intentionally fill that space with purpose. And a lot of people are like, I don't know my purpose. I don't know my purpose. I promise you, the more you sit with God, He'll reveal your purpose. And a lot of times you know your purpose. You've just been so used to a chaotic environment in survival mode that you haven't even gotten to sit down with yourself and quiet your brain and figure out who you are. And that's why you don't know your purpose. So ask yourself, what do I like to do? What makes me laugh? What kind of woman am I becoming? Healing isn't just about leaving survival mode behind. It's about finally meeting the version of yourself that survival never gave you the chance to become. If you're just starting your healing journey, or maybe you're in the middle of it, keep going. Because one day you'll realize that you're no longer thinking about what happened to you. Your focus will be on what you're building and who you want to become. Because healing prepares you to build a life you actually love.